The Kasor Dominion had always seen humanity as fragile. Young, restless, ambitious, yes, but still a lesser species. To them, Earth's colonies were little more than scattered embers in the vastness of the galactic dark. And so, when the Dominion sought to send a message to all who might oppose their expansion, they chose humanity. It began at Lorana's Reach, a human colony on the fringe. A world of oceans and silver forests, home to nearly 2 million settlers. Families, workers, scientists, farmers who turned alien soil into fertile ground, children who looked at strange constellations and called them home. The Dominion descended upon them with fire. Orbital bombardments tore the seas apart, sending walls of steam into the stratosphere. Forests burned like kindling, ignited by plasma rains. The cities, those fledgling dreams of Earth reborn among the stars, were crushed under the weight of kinetic strikes hurled from above. The Dominion commanders laughed in their comms as civilians screamed. And then came the final insult. The envoy, Ambassador Harrell, humanity's chosen voice to the Dominion, had been traveling to negotiate peace. His ship was intercepted. He was dragged from his vessel, his crew executed, and his body displayed on a Dominion broadcast to the galaxy. Hung in a stasis field as the Khazor warlord sneered, "Behold humanity. They speak of peace because they lack claws to fight. They hide behind treaties because they lack the will to bleed. Their suns are small, their shadows weak. They are nothing," and with that, the Dominion celebrated. They believed the matter finished. They had made their example. The Feast of Mockery, Dominion's mistake on the capital world of the Xor. There was feasting. Their commanders boasted of victory, recounting how easily the humans had died. They mocked the desperate last transmissions, colonists crying out to Earth for aid, voices drowned in static as fire consumed them. "Earth is too distant to matter," one general spat, raising his glass. "Their fleets are outdated, their spirit tame. They will send us words, not weapons. Let them try," another laughed. "By the time their ships arrive, their suns will have set and their people forgotten. They are children trying to play in the wars of gods." The Dominion, secure in its arrogance, saw no threat in the silence that followed. Humanity did not reply. No threats, no declarations of war, just nothing. And that silence was the Dominion's first mistake. For silence was never weakness. Silence was patience. Silence was the shadow of something vast preparing to move. The silence breaks. Humanity awakens. 3 months after Lorana's Reach was turned to ash, the silence cracked. Across the galaxy, Dominion listening posts intercepted strange signals. At first, faint bursts of coded transmissions. Then, entire bands of communications swallowed by encrypted chatter. Old frequencies once dormant for centuries roared to life. Fleets that had not stirred in generations began transmitting readiness alerts. And then came the first broadcast from Earth itself. It was not a speech. It was not a declaration. It was a single sentence, repeated in every galactic tongue, broadcast on every open frequency the Dominion used. "You woke the shadows. Now you will learn how far they reach." For the first time, the galaxy remembered something it had tried to forget. Humanity had never been truly still. Beneath their suns, beneath their colonies, beneath the peace they had built, there had always been fleets in the dark. Some mothballed, some hidden in asteroid bases, some stationed far from prying eyes in the void. They were not idle. They were waiting. The storm gathers, shadows on the horizon. The Dominion scoffed when the first human ships were sighted. Old frigates, they said, scavenged relics, nothing that could threaten the might of a galactic empire. But as weeks passed, the sightings grew stranger. A patrol disappeared near the Vera sector. A Dominion trade convoy was found adrift, its escorts gutted with surgical precision. A shipyard in the Arvos belt was obliterated by kinetic strikes launched from nowhere. An attack so fast and clean that the Dominion thought it sabotage, not war. And then, the shadows began to stretch. Entire constellations fell silent. Outposts that had broadcast for centuries went dark overnight. Fleets sent to investigate never returned. Dominion commanders spoke of ghost ships, vessels so black they swallowed starlight, striking and vanishing before alarms could sound. And across the galaxy, whispers spread. The humans are coming. The hand of vengeance. Shadows take form. When the first true engagement came, the galaxy finally saw humanity's wrath unveiled. It was at Koresh Prime, a fortress world bristling with defenses. The Dominion had gathered 5 fleets there, confident they could break whatever humans dared to attack. But the humans did not attack in the way the Dominion expected. They did not rush. They did not announce themselves. Instead, Koresh Prime woke to find its skies already blotted out. Human fleets, dozens, then hundreds, emerged from stealth. unfolding like wings across the void. Ships black as obsidian, dreadnoughts scarred with centuries of hidden service, carriers whose launch bays spewed endless clouds of fighters. Their silhouettes eclipsed Koresh's twin suns, stretching shadows across the world below. The Dominion screamed orders, but the war was already lost. Humanity had not brought fleets alone. They brought weapons the galaxy had never seen deployed in such unity. Orbital lances that burned through battleships like parchment, railgun slugs accelerated to fractions of light speed, swarms of drones that devoured defenses piece by piece. The battle did not last a day. It did not even last an hour. Koresh Prime's fleets were shredded before they could fire in formation. Its planetary shields fell in minutes. Its cities burned in silence as orbital strikes rained down with the cold efficiency of executioners. And when it was done, a single human transmission echoed across Dominion space. Lorana's reach remembers. The reckoning. Shadows. Unleashed, the war that followed was no war at all. It was annihilation. Humanity did not simply defeat the Dominion fleets. They erased them. Everywhere the Kisor turned, human ships were already there. Worlds thought safe, deep behind Dominion borders, woke to find the skies blackened with human steel. Supply lines crumbled. Communications were strangled. Commanders who once boasted of their power now begged for mercy that would never come. It was not rage that drove humanity now. Rage would have been merciful. It was something colder, deeper, older. A patience turned into judgment. A shadow that had been waiting for the perfect moment to stretch across the stars. Entire Dominion planets were glassed, their surfaces scarred into silence. Fleet yards that had built warships for centuries were vaporized in single strikes. And always, above the ruins, the same human phrase repeated, "We are the shadows of every sun you extinguished, and we will stretch farther than yours ever could." The galaxy watched in horror. The fall of the Dominion, kings in ashes. The Dominion had believed themselves immortal. Their emperors, draped in gold, had ruled for millennia, secure in the belief that no rising power could challenge them. But now, they hid in bunkers, trembling as reports poured in of human fleets dismantling their empire system by system. In less than a year, the Dominion that had spanned hundreds of worlds was reduced to ruins. The emperors who once mocked humanity were dragged from their thrones, not by diplomats or rebels, but by the cold hand of extinction. The last broadcast of the Dominion showed their capital in flames. Human ships hung in orbit like black halos, casting shadows across the burning world. The transmission ended with a single human word, whispered like a curse: justice. The aftermath. Whispers in the void when it was over. Silence returned. The human fleets, vast as storms, did not linger to rule. They came, they destroyed, and then they vanished back into the dark. What remained of the Dominion was ash and whispers, and the galaxy, watching, learned the lesson carved into every burning world. Never provoke Earth, because humanity's suns may be small. Their colonies may be fragile. Their voices may seem quiet, but their shadows stretch farther than their suns could ever shine. And in those shadows lies vengeance without end.